Let's sew a reusable produce bag. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and today we are making this cute reusable produce bag. So it's made with a mesh as well as a cotton material, and there is a full pattern available on my Etsy store with all the instructions, all of the pattern pieces that you will need. Now for this pattern, I would say that it is advanced beginner just based on the different types of fabrics we're using, but first you will want to have some sort of cotton material that is pre-washed. I'm going with this one because it has little fruits on it, so it's perfect for the theme. And then we will also be needing some mesh material. Now I got this in a mystery box, but you can also get these just at your fabric store or online. If you check like the athletic section, you'd be able to find mesh fabric there. And then we'll be using some sort of cording. I have this about 1/4 inch thick elastic cording. You could use definitely just regular cording that is not stretch. You would want about 20+ inches or so. And then you will want a cord lock. So this just helps to kind of keep the cord in place, especially if you're cinching it up to hold your produce afterward, but it could be seen as optional as well. So for cutting this out, the pattern on Etsy does include pattern pieces that have you cut out your fabric on the fold. So you would just be folding your fabric and then you would lay that pattern piece on top. In the pattern pieces, you'll see there's one edge that says lay this against the fold, and you would just be putting that on that folded edge. In addition, I do include the dimensions for how big of pieces of fabric you would need in general. So you can also just cut that out like I'm doing here. So it will be 13.5 by 7 inches for the bottom piece, 13.5 by 5 inches for the top piece, and then 13.5 by 4 inches for the mesh. For all of these, I would recommend cutting them out in a single layer if you can. So you will have 3 pieces of fabric that will be coming together to make this whole bag. Once you have all 3 pieces cut out, you can then just line these up so that bigger piece is on the bottom with the mesh and then the other cotton at the top. So we are going to be starting with the top with that cotton, and first you are just going to want to press this out if you haven't already so that it is nice and flat and smooth. We are going to be prepping this so that we can have our casing for our cording to go in. So the first step is that top edge, fold it over by 1/2 inch and then press it out so that it is nice and flat and that you get a nice crease. This is going to help us remove that raw edge. Next, we are going to be folding this over one more time by about 1 inch. So we're marking off where 1 inch is for that fold, and then doing the exact same thing of pressing this out so you can see it's been folded over by 1 inch. Now we're just going to press this so it's nice and smooth, and this is where our cord would go. Now I'm going to unfold all of this as this was just a prep step that we'll use later on. So now taking that top piece that I just did all that ironing and pressing on, I'm going to have the right side facing up, and then I'm going to put my mesh on top of it so those long edges are matching at the bottom, and then I'm just going to pin this across so you can see that the right sides are together. For a mesh it can be a little hard to tell the right or wrong side, but for this we're just going to put right sides together, and I'm taking a seam all the way across. Now this is just going to be a straight stitch. If you do have any issues with sewing the mesh, I have a whole video that I can link to. But as you can see, we've sewn that up, but one thing we have to deal with is because we're using cotton and we're not lining this bag, we need to finish off our raw edges. So the cotton would fray over time, especially if you wanted to wash this. So we need to finish those edges, and I'm going to be using a zigzag stitch for this. And then the zigzag stitch will just go back and forth over that edge. You could use a serger, you could use an overcast stitch, you could use pinking shears, whatever you have on hand. This is what it looks like though with that zigzag stitch. So now I'm going to take this back over to my iron and we're going to press this out. I want to make this look nice and neat, so I do not want to see that seam allowance through that mesh fabric. So I'm going to be folding it so that that seam allowance is sort of pointed up towards the cotton, so I'm not able to see it through the mesh. And what this is going to do is give us a really clean look that then we can top stitch this seam allowance in place, and it will look nice from the front and it will look nice from the back as well. So I'm just pinning the seam allowance up, and then taking a seam all the way through. Now as an optional touch, especially with top stitching, I'm going to return this back to a regular stitch, so just a straight stitch. I'm going to increase my stitch length to 3. This can just sometimes give it a little cleaner of a look, but completely optional. And now we have a really nice and clean top stitch, and the seam allowance can't be seen from the front. So now what I'm going to do is sew the bottom portion onto my bag, so with right sides together, matching the mesh, that lower edge, with one of the edges of the bottom piece of my fabric, and then just matching this again all the way through. And I'm just going to be taking a seam, so very similar to how we did for the top, but now we're just combining all 3 of those pieces together. So now when I take this stitch, it's going to be a straight stitch. Be sure to return your stitch length back to 2.5 if you changed it. And then once I go through and sew all of this up, I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did before, where I'm going to be going through, finishing the edges on that, and then we'll want to top stitch it so that it lays nice and flat. So now I'm just going to go through and do that finishing. Once that's done, I'm just going to press that seam allowance down towards the cotton this time. That way I can't see it through the mesh, so you can see the one at the top is pointed towards the cotton, and then the one at the bottom is pointed towards the cotton that way. And then just pinning that in place, and then again, I'm just going to top stitch all the way through to hold that in, and I can increase the stitch length if I would like to, but just making it look nice and neat. So now at this point I have all three layers together, so I have the cotton, I have the mesh. If we look at it from the back, it also looks really nice and clean. All of our seams have been finished off and we cannot see them through the mesh fabric, which was kind of the goal. So now what we need to do is finish off the sides of our bag as well as the bottom. And to do this, I'm just taking a zigzag stitch, but you could really use whatever edge finishing technique you would like if you want to use a serger or an overcast stitch, but I just went through and took a zigzag stitch on those three sides. So here's what those sides now look like. As you can see, it is nice and finished off, so if you decide to wash this bag in the future, you won't have to worry about your cotton unfraying. Now at the top, we had those creases that we had made earlier. So you're going to put a pin in the lower crease and then measure 1 inch down from that, and you're going to put another pin. So if you were using centimeters, this would be 2.5 centimeters down from that second crease that we created, and just leave that there. And now we're going to fold all of this over. So you're putting those pins on either side of your crease, and then we are folding this so that we get one long, almost like tube-like bag, as you can see here. And the right sides are together of my bag. And then I'm just going to be pinning all the way up. When I get to where that pin is, where that little 1 inch gap, I'm not going to be sewing there, but I will be sewing everything else. So going through, pinning all of this up, and then when we get to where those pins are, I'm marking a double pin just so I know to start and stop, but sewing all the downside all the way up, stopping at that first double pin, leaving that inch gap, and then just sewing the rest. And this is going to allow us to sew our side and the bottom of the bag. So I've gone through, I've sewn up that first portion. When I get to the double pin, I'm stopping, and I'm going to backstitch as I have been on all of my starting and stoppings. And then I'm going to restart at that second double pin that I have, putting my presser foot down, and then just continuing on my way, sewing the whole side of the bag. Now when I get near the bottom, I'm going to slowly stop and then put my needle into the fabric with about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of fabric left, turn my fabric 90 degrees with the presser foot up, and then just continue sewing on my way, so that way I don't actually have to stop the stitch. And then at this point, the bottom of the bag is all sewn up, and we've also sewn the side all the way up, but you should have left that 1 inch gap. And then of course the top has not been sewn in any way. So what we're going to do now is focus on the bottom portion to create more of a boxed look. Now in the pattern itself, you'll see there's 2 small pattern pieces, and we are going to be tracing out about a 1.5 inch rectangle on one side, and then a 1 inch rectangle on the other side. And in the pattern, you'll see they're marked as pattern pieces 4 and 5, and you will just be lining them up. Now for this, it's important to note which side of your bag has the fold and which side has the side seam in the bottom. So the side with the fold will go with pattern piece 4, and then the side with the side seam as well as the bottom seam will be pattern piece 5. So this is just a really important area to note because there's just a slight difference in the measurement, but once you have that traced out, you can then go ahead and cut out these little squares. And this is going to allow us to sort of create a 3D boxed effect. But once you have it all cut out, this is what it will look like. And you can see you have about a 1 inch square on either side now, ignoring the seam allowance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now pick this up and bring together those short edges, and so that I can create this 3D effect. So I've just pushed these edges together. You can see it kind of looks like a flat sandwich in a way. And I'm just going to pin this up all the way across. You can push open the seam allowance if you would like, that's more of an optional step. And I'm going to repeat this for the second corner as well, so that I get these 2 boxed corners, those 2 boxed edges, and just pin all of this up. Once I have it all pinned up, I'm then just going to take a straight seam across to hold this in place so that I get a really nice and clean looking boxed corner on the bottom of my bag, just to give it a little bit more stability and structure, and to be able to hold a little bit more of the fruit in a cleaner looking way. Now, once you go through and do that straight stitch, because again, this is something where we are just sewing our cotton, you will want to go through and do that edge finishing as well on either side with your zigzag stitch or your serger. So now it is time for us to have the bottom portion all done, so we are focusing now on the casing. So again, we've already done a little bit of prep work on this at the beginning, so you are going to refold this where your creases were, so folding it down by 1/2 inch, so where that first crease was, and then I'm just going to be folding this again by another inch, so where I made that second crease and that first step we did earlier. Once you have this all folded down, you can also check, just as a really quick little reminder to yourself, there should be an opening though on the outside of your bag, and that's where our cording is going to go through. But I'm just going to go through, pin all of this in place, and then once I have all of that pinned up, especially along those folds that we had done, we can now take a seam. So as you can see, this is what it looks like from the outside. So we have that little gap. Everything looks nice. You don't really see any raw edges. And then I can go through and just take a seam all the way around. You want to be as close to that fold as you can be so you have the most room for your cording, but we can just go through and sew all of this up. Now, because it is on that curve, you will want to take your time and just very carefully sew through this. You should be doing about an inch seam allowance since it is about an inch overall for that fold. And as you can see, I start and stop multiple times to readjust my fabric, and that'll make it a little bit easier for you as you go through. So here is what my bag now looks like. You can see we got that casing all nice and sewn up. It's nice and neat all the way around since we had measured it. So I'm just going to turn this right side out, and it is now time for us to add our cording. So for the cording, I again had mentioned that I used around a 20-inch piece. I like to cut it out a little bit bigger than necessary. So I have my cording, and then where that little opening is, I'm just going to push it through. Now, if your cording isn't as structurally hard as mine is, you could definitely have added a safety pin and then use that safety pin to push it through. I was able to feel my cord all the way around though. And then I'm going to add the cord block. So you're just going to push it open, and you'll see that you can see directly through it, and then put the cord through that little circle opening. And once you have it in there, you will then be able to just pull both pieces all the way through. And now you can just adjust your cording as needed. If you want to finish off those raw edges, depending on what type you have, you could always use a lighter or a flame and just very carefully melt them. It really depends more on your preference. I opted not to do that. So now our bag is all complete. So this is what it looks like. It is perfect to go into the washing machine if needed, but because it has that mesh, it's very breathable. I found that I could hold about 3, 4, 5 medium-sized apples. You can also store about 2 to 3 cucumbers in this size. You could also put 1 or 2 bell peppers, and then you can also put peaches. So really, those small, medium-sized fruits will be perfect in this. You can bring it to your farmer's market, you could bring it to the grocery store, and it would be able to hold all of your needs so that you aren't using as many plastic bags. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I mentioned, there is a full Etsy pattern available, so if you want the pattern pieces as well as the descriptions. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.